Hello and welcome. Good afternoon to all of you. Thanks for joining on this GoFor lunch for today. And I don't have that set up right, so let's try that again. So we're going to have questions at the end, but we're going to start our presentation at the beginning and let you know that today we're talking about searching. So last week we had part 1 of searching on the Mac, and this week we're into part 2, which is searching on your iPhone and your iPad. So this is brought to you by GoFor Technology, and my name is Roger Harmon. Welcome. If you're new here, please type new in the comments so we can get to know you. And as always, we're here to make your technology work for you instead of you working for it. So this is Go for Lunch number 101, and we still have our 100 balloons back here. So they're holding up great. So if you're wondering what that is in the background moving around, that's our 100 episode celebration gift, and of course today is 101. Let me remind you that when you search, less is more. In other words, don't type in a whole long sentence. Just type in a few characters and keep your eyes on the screen so you can see what the results are, because they come up dynamically as you type. So, of course, last week we talked in part 1 about searching on the Mac, and the most important thing there was to understand how to use the command key and the space bar. Command space. And that brings up Spotlight. So today we're going to talk in part 2 about how you do it on the iPhone and the iPad. And it's the same. You swipe down from the center of the screen between your icon apps. So let's just look at that. A little example here. So first of all, you have to lean in there and let Face ID work. So to search on an iPhone or iPad, you put your finger in the center of the screen, anywhere actually from about here all the way down to here. Swipe down and voila. You can see up here it says search. We have a keyboard so we can type in our search. So what we do, of course, is we tap up there in the search at the top and type in our keyword. So you have Spotlight on the iPhone as well as on the Mac. So you can search for many of the same things that we showed you last week on the Mac, including files, documents, emails, and contacts, PDFs, events in your calendar, reminders, settings, images, movies, definitions, spreadsheets, music, Siri, things that Siri found in apps, and of course you can search the web from right there. So some other things you can do is you can do calculations and conversions, sports scores, stock market quotes, and weather. So let's go back here and look at the iPhone. So here we're all set to search. So these are things that I've searched for recently. Now I want you to notice up here there is a little arrow right here. Probably a little hard to see. So it's just opposite of Siri suggestions. There's a little arrow. Right now it's pointing down. The default, however, is, if I can get it to work here. Hello? There we go. The default is it's pointing sideways and you only get one row of series suggestions. And once you hit this little arrow and it starts pointing down again, it will stay that way unless you change it. So I recommend that you get this in the down position so you can see 2 rows of search suggestions. So we're just going to do some examples here of searching. So I am going to bring up some of these things here again for you as reminders. So let's say we wanted to search for a contact. So maybe I need service done on my Ford. So I'm going to type in Ford. And you see I got an app which is called Ford Pass, which is for Ford owners. I also got another app which is Gas Buddy. And I've got a contact which is my Ford Explorer, where I keep information like my license plate number and my vehicle identification number. And then if I scroll up here, I find some other things that it got, which sometimes don't make sense, I might add. So here's contacts. So again, there's somebody named Bill Ford. So we're looking at contacts. So here we are. We're getting some hits in calendar. So the word, so GoFor, you see. So if I tap back up here in the search file and type on Ford, then I get a little better results here. And as you can see, I am getting another contact with the last name of Ford. And then I'm getting a map to the old Ford store, to Ford dealership on 22nd Street, and to Crystal Ford. Then again, I'm getting a setting. And let's go back to search. And let me start over there because I wouldn't have this top showing to you. So anyway, we're searching for Ford. We got Ford Pass. We got a couple of Safari hits. We've got a search. We've got a contact called Ford Explorer. We've got a person named Ford. Another person down here. You see Jeffrey Ford. Then we got maps. The old Ford store. We've got settings for the Ford Pass app. We've got mail that has the word Ford in it. So Holden Ford is telling us about how there's thousands of Ford trucks abandoned in Kentucky. Probably because of supply shortages on the chips that they need. Then we get searches from Safari about Ford. And then at the bottom here, we get searches in apps. So we can search in Notes, Messages, Music, Calendar, the App Store, and Maps. So, what about calculations? So if we clear the search by hitting the little X in the gray circle at the top there, we can type in a calculation, 12 times 12. Since I did this earlier, it pops up. So we click on that. You can see we have the calculator here showing us that the answer to 12 times 12 is 144. But we also got some other things here. We've got a photo that must have some text in it that matches the search. We got some verses here. We've got a movie called 12-12-12. We have the date, December 12th. And then you can see here's some searches. And then we can search for that again in the App Store or in Maps. So let's just touch on Maps and see what we get. So here's 12 East 12th Street. So you can see that the searching is pretty powerful. How about sports scores? So we're going to go back here to our iPhone, click on search in the upper left-hand corner just below the time. Clear the search by hitting the X in the gray circle. And let's type in Houston. So we got Houston Astros. So we tap on that. And we find out that on April 12th, which just happens to be today, the Houston Astros are going to play the Arizona Diamondbacks. And then we have also the Houston Astros schedule from today forward. You can see they're playing through May the 1st there at the very bottom. So that's our sports score. What about stock market quotes? So again, we're going to hit the back, which is just below the time where it says back on the little left arrow. We're going to hit the X. We're going to type in a stock symbol, AA. And all we had to do is type AA. And here's the Apple stock result. And there you can see that Apple is not doing as well as it has. So we are searching the last week. So maybe you want to buy some Apple stock here. The analysts are telling us they expect it to go up to over $200 in the next year. So that might be a good buy. Who knows? I am not a stock advisor, so don't take my word for it. What about weather? Well, of course, we can do weather. So we're going to hit search again in the upper left-hand corner to get out of there. Hit the X to clear the search. And we're going to type in Tucson. So you can see we're getting some results here. And we got Tucson weather forecast. All we had to do is type in 2 characters. So here's our weather forecast. And it gives us the forecast for hours of the day. And then down in the lower section, it gives us for the next 7 days. So enjoy the cool weather while you can, because it's going to be 93 on Sunday. So let's talk about searching inside of a website. So when you bring up a website, you can search inside your results. So let's bring up a website here. So we're still on the results for our weather search. And so I'm just trying to find a good word to search for. So let's try this one here. So here we're bringing up weather.com. And we want to find within a page. So this is a map, and this is not going to work. So we're going to click up here on weather.com, And let's bring up another page. So let's say we want to learn about pages. Okay, so there's an app which needs to be updated, and we got a website which is pages.peaknatural.com, which I have no idea what that is. So we're getting some different results here, many of these based on my searches in the past. But if we just click at the bottom where it says Find Pages, then we're going back to the weather map. It couldn't find anything on Pages, so we're going to go back here to our web search, type in Pages from here, and tap on the third result down where it says Pages with the magnifying glass. Okay, so there we've got Pages, we got Yellow Pages, the Pages, the app. We've got Printer Pro Classic, which allows you to wirelessly print documents, photos, and web pages. We have files in the Pages folder. We have a GoFor Lunch number 90, which is all about pages. So you can see here, let's go into this website here. Well, let's go into GitHub. Okay. So here is a website that's got lots of information. So now if we scroll up again, you see at the very bottom here, I'll show you on the camera, you see at the very bottom right here, you have a little square with a up arrow. So we're going to touch on that. And then we're going to scroll up here. Oops. Come on, scroll. There we go. So I'm going to go back here. So when we scroll up here, we see that we have an option called Find on Page. You see it right here, Find on Page. So when we click on that, then we get a search bar here in the center. Now, we already had it, remembers the last term we searched for, so Pages is in there. So I hit the backspace to get rid of that. So I'm going to type in the word hyper, H-Y-P-E-R, and search. And that did not work. I could have sworn I saw the word hyper down below here. So let's find another word that's kind of... Okay, so there's an address there called with username in it. So let's try that. So we're going to type here, hit backspace to clear that search. Type in U-S-E-R. And you can see here in the center in the gray area, we found 9 things that have user in it. So let's type an N. So now we've got username. So we've got 8 things. And you can see these 2 little arrows to the right of where it says 5 of 8. So if we hit the up arrow, we'll go backwards to 4 of 8, 3 of 8, 2 of 8, 1 of 8, and then it goes around. So now we're at 8 of 8. So that's how you can find things within a web page. So to review that, on the web page, you tap the share box, which is at the bottom of the screen with the arrow pointing up, and then you scroll down and tap Find on Page and enter your search term. Now, if you have an older version of iOS, this is iOS 15, you may have to, again, tap the share sheet, the square with the up arrow, and then swipe and tap Find on Page, and then Find on Page again. So when you're on the web and you're doing a search, you can also select a time range. So let's see how that works. So we're going to go here and search for 15.4. Okay, or 15.4. And that's iOS 15.4. So you see we got, in the second result, we got 15.4 iOS. So we're going to click on that. So what we want to know is recent things that happened with 15.4. So you can see here you have a line below the search value 15.4 or 15.4 iOS, and then the second line where it starts with all, and then I want to direct your attention to the third line where to the right it says anytime. You see that under shopping, anytime. So we tap on that, and then we can select a custom date range, or we can just use one of these pre-selected ones. So I want to know what's happened with iOS 15.4 in the past month. So I'm going to tap on past month. Well, let's do it this way. We're going to tap on past year first. Okay. So here we can see the second one is from April 7th. And let's see if we can see a date here. Sometimes you can see the dates, sometimes you can't. Here's one from March 15th. This one from 9 to 5 Mac. So now if I scroll back up here and click on past year to get back to my date range, and I click on past week, then it's only going to show me the things that happened in the past week. So I won't see that entry from March or April, just whatever happened in the past. Well, yeah, probably won't see April 4th because that's more than a week ago. So that can be very handy in getting current results on something you're searching for. So again, we already covered how do you find something within a web page. And you can also use quotes. So if you're looking for something specific, you can put it in quotes and your web search will just find that exact term. And you can also do a Boolean search, and that's where you can have two search terms and put and, or, not, near between the two terms. And you can also put the plus sign or the minus sign to eliminate or add search terms. So let's see if we can show you that. So we can go back up here to our search, and we can tap to the right to get rid of the highlighting, hit the space bar, and let's say we want to say minus bugs. We only wanted to hear the good news. And we hit go. And you can see that we're not getting anything that says bugs here. We are still getting issues, but not the word bugs. So that's the way that a Boolean search can work. So, do you have any questions on this? So hopefully you've got some more tools in your toolbox to use the web and search on your iOS devices more efficiently. So while you're typing any questions in, if you haven't already, a little reminder to please share the GoFor Gazette, which comes out every Monday morning about 7 o'clock. with anybody that you know that uses Apple devices. Also, we added in the GoFor Gazette the link for the Tucson Macintosh User Group meeting, which is a week from today. So you can just click on that link from the GoFor Gazette, and the first meeting starts at 6 o'clock. And again, you can also take advantage of the articles we post on the Tucson Macintosh User Group Facebook page to give you more information. And now a public service announcement. So you might want to check in your settings on your Mac to see if you don't have some updates. Now this would not be the update to Monterey. When you look at the in the settings where it says software update, it says more in little blue letters. You click on that and you'll see this. So there is a Safari update, and these are security updates. So you want to do security updates. So don't forget to check those out. Well, let's see. We have Bob and Judy, Phil and Phyllis, and Gretchen has a question here, which is, can you only see searching Spotlight's contacts? So when you scroll down from the center of the screen, you swipe down, I should say, then that's what you would see. Whatever meets your criteria, whether it be a contact or a web page, you're going to see it in there. So I did not show you my screen, but I think we fixed that. And your iPhone gave me different results. So a lot of searches depend on your past search history. Okay, so Apple is using some artificial intelligence, and they are looking at what you've searched for recently, and they are populating your search results with that. So obviously your search results would be different than mine. Well, thank you, David. Glad that you're learning new things. Of course, that is always our goal. So Gretchen has a clarification here. It was corrected. It was your screen. I could not see. Oh, okay. All right, good. So sometimes I get carried away and don't switch my video to what I'm talking about. So, and unfortunately, when I'm looking at my video, what's outputting to you, I can't see your comments. Okay. So that's interesting. So apparently there's some algorithm in there that is weighting that search, even though you never searched for that before. So it was looking at 1212 more than based on your search history, I think, is what happened there. So the search function is very, very powerful. So you should use it. I use it all the time to launch apps on both my Mac and my iPhone or iPad. And interestingly enough, many times when I'm with a client and I do the swipe down from the center of the screen on an iPad or iPhone, they don't realize you can do that. So that's why I wanted to emphasize this, because it's a feature that's been built in forever, and you should be using it to get more efficient and find what you're looking for on your iOS devices. So, thanks for joining, and be here with us next Tuesday at high noon when we again have Go for Lunch. Take care.